There's one in Winslow, Arizona. I've been there. Okay, I agree. There's meteor hits all over the planet. Now, did they hit before the flood came? I doubt it. I think most of the stuff floating around in space came from Earth when the fountains of the deep broke open.
Really?
If you had water trapped under 10 miles of rock, you can do the math. I've got it in my seminar someplace. It's about 8 million tons of pressure per square foot.
How would that get stuck?
There's still water down in the crust of the Earth at the bottom of the.
Oh, but it releases at all times.
Sometimes. What if it gets
old,
trapped?
like Old Faithful and all that.
Ask anybody who's drilled a hole in the ground to try to get oil. There's incredible pressure in oil wells. How did it get stuck down there?
It's effectively trapped.
I agree. And, water can also be effectively trapped in the crust.
It's a lot harder. It's not near as thick.
There are 10 million thermal vents at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean squirting up hot water into the bottom of the ocean. Discovered in 1977. I think Jacques Cousteau and those guys with the deep sea, the Trist or whatever that submarine was. So if there are 10 million, let's assume that number is right, hot water vents shooting up into the bottom of the ocean, where's the water coming from?
Where's the water coming from?
It's coming from down lower than the bottom.
The ocean, below the ocean. Yeah.
So here we have a modern day example where water can be trapped in the crust of the Earth, and it's able to escape along these cracks.
And it would be so hot.
It is hot. Oh man, it's hot, and it's coming. And critters learn to live.
How much water do you think of that was responsible for the flood?
I think most of the flood water came from inside the Earth.
Then everything would have died that was in the ocean.
A whole lot of stuff in the ocean did die, and they're buried in huge fossil graveyards. Not all of it. It depends on how far they are from the source of the hot water. If you're sitting,
most of it.
Well, if you're sitting in a bathtub,
it would have to be.
Nolan, if you're sitting in a bathtub and I dump a gallon of boiling water at one end of the tub, it may burn your feet, but not burn your butt at the other end of the tub. That's an example how temperature is diffused.
If you dump let's say I have a bathtub and it's 33% full, and then you add 50% of boiling water to it. Yes, that's going to destroy me. Or that's what I'm saying. If most of it came from the center, that water would have been kept at higher than steam, the temperatures. It wouldn't even have been water. It would have been steam.
And some of it may have gone into steam, and it rained for 40 days, but the water kept coming up for 150 days, according to the Genesis story. So it's not all coming from rain. But back to the meteors. This water, under incredible pressure, finally getting an escape, a crack along the fault lines when the Earth broke up like an eggshell, it would launch rocks into orbit. We would go around the sun, as we do, travel around the sun, and run into them like bugs on your windshield. And we're still running into the debris, I think, that shot up at the time of the flood. Walt Brown's.
Why is the iridium on them?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. That's a good point of research. Why iridium on some of them and not all of them? Good point.
Yes, and they did argon dating, and they posited mass extinction occurred within 32,000 years of the date. But by the way, it was over 1 billion times the energy of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
You know, when they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which I've read extensively on that topic.
Oh, I know you have.
Nobody heard it in Chicago. It did destroy the whole city there, but nobody heard it in Chicago. Nobody in Chicago even knew it happened. Didn't even ripple the wind. So it's an awfully big Earth, okay? Disasters can happen.
But 1 billion?
I don't know, but disasters can happen in one spot, and people 500 miles away or 5,000 miles away don't even know. It's a big planet. Noah was in the ark during this flood. He's safe aboard, and the fountains of the deep break open, and the earth is in chaos, and everything outside is dying, almost everything. Some fish obviously survived and were able to reproduce. Some whole species may have gone extinct because of that flood event. We may today have we might have some species that are only recognizable in the fossils. You find a fossil of an unusual creature and say, wow, that's interesting. We don't have any of those today. At least none have been discovered. So I'm in favor of that. That's good research. But I think none of it that I'm aware of, we only got 5 minutes left here, and we're going to do another one of these, but none of that I'm aware of contradicts anything in the Bible story. I think we can explain the stuff jump flying around through space and the craters on the moon as coming from debris that shot off the Earth. And over the next 500 years, the moon and Earth went around in their orbit and ran into it like bugs on a windshield. Why does the moon have craters so unevenly distributed? One side has a bunch of big ones, the other side has a bunch of little ones.
I believe it's because of the way it spins. It's in tidal rock with us, so that's why it gets hit from where. I think that has something to do with it, the way it spins.
Okay, Nolan.
I'm not sure, but
yeah, I'm not either.
think.
I think a blast from the Earth is one possible explanation. The stuff going out and coming back, hitting it, would tend to be the smaller stuff. But just an